Alrighty, welcome back. Me and Aiden are in the house and we're on air. Basically what has happened is we got the car down on. We made a couple brackets so the floor is a part of the car now. So if you had to take the car off, the floor is a part of it because we've got it connected. But what we're doing right this present moment is you can see the inside sill that we put on. It's there, and I'm glad that we did that because there's a lot of work to do to put that inside sill on if you didn't do that first, and that was a big thing. But we have an issue right here, like this is all not connected to the inside sill, and that's what we have to do. So me and Aiden are going to do it together to practice. We got a piece that's cut off here, that there's nothing in here, my hand went there. It's rotten on this side right here. It's rotten up in here. That's all rotten. We got a rotten spot there, we got a rotten spot there, we got a rotten spot there. So basically there's some work that's got to go on there. We're going to do that. We already did one side, but we're going to go through it with you because we thought, or I think it's a good video, because that could overwhelm somebody. There's not a lot, you know, it doesn't look that bad, but I mean if you want to repair it, you have to repair every piece. And a lot of people would be overwhelmed by a little hole there, or not sure what to do. A little hole there, a little hole there, a little hole there, bit hole there, that's all gone. So we're going to go over it. But me and Aiden already did one this morning. We'll come on this side. Me and Aiden made the pieces, and then Aiden welded it up, and I ground it off. So we were team work. So we made this piece, an underneath piece. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces there, and we connected it to the square stock on the floor, so that's where the square stock is, and then we got it running down there. That's the bottom of the A pillar. We've got this side pretty well completed. We've got, just come over this way, sweetheart. On the inside of this side, we put a panel from the doorpost to the cowl, and that there holds that A pillar on there. That's not coming off by no means. You'd have to rip all the weld off the A pillar, that panel there, you'd have to rip that off for that to move. So that's on there tight and right. We have not got this one on yet on the inside, but we got the outside fixed. So what has happened is, to get more work done, is I went inside and made a panel for that while Aiden was welding this up. We did this together. But we're going to do this side together because you know what happens. Practice makes perfect. And basically, we're going to do it together. Aiden's going to cut the pieces. We'll cut the pieces out and we'll go for it. So we're going to repair the front cowl part of the car and tie the inner sill and floor to the car. So we've actually started from the front and we're going to work our way to the back. Basically, that's what's going on. Let's do it. What I see is I see quite a bit of shape going on here. There's a piece folded underneath here. There's a piece in here. There's 2 holes here. And basically, I want to simplify it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make each shape, and then we're going to weld them together. So what I see, this is what I see as I'm looking at it. I see one piece. That's one piece. That's an easy piece. That's flat. That's one piece. You get a little bend there. That's nothing, but we need to fix that. We need to fix that. So these are getting swelled out, so we'll fix that. That's one piece. I see one piece from here all the way down, and going to the inside sill and down there. I see another piece, and then I can butt weld that together here. So if you can picture it, so there's a piece right here. It's just a flat piece. It's just got to be in that shape and go down and weld along here. That's number 2. Then there's a piece that has to tie this in, so we're going to make a piece from here into there and come down and spot weld it on the inside of the sill. And then I see another piece in here, and that's I don't know what that would be. It would be less than a 90 with a different kind of shape to it, and we're going to show you how we do it. Right there I see a coat hanger and a welder. That's what I see right there. I would never try to cut that all out and try to replace all that. I'd shove a coat hanger in that, fill that full. I got a couple holes from some self-tappers, but we're going to make some pieces and put them on. We've got the inside already done. I noticed when we were doing the inside of that one, I cut some stuff out. It goes into the inside of the car, which is okay by me. Let's go for it. I need some paper, need some scissors. There it is right there. Aiden said, right behind you, man, right behind you. I got my knee pads on. So basically I'm going to make some shapes out of this cardboard, this Bristol board. We're going to try to make it as simple as possible. To me, the simplest way possible, I got a straight one right there. So I might as well just use that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. So I'm going to use that straight edge right there to make that first piece. I'm just going to cut. Get it close. Get it closer than it is. We're going to need a piece up in here. I almost cut it too small. Lost my marker. Put my glasses on. So I'm just going to mimic what's going on here. And I can touch my hand, rub my hand on it. Bring it down some. Take that piece of tape off. Don't waste anything here, we don't. I'm just going to cut that. You can always add to it. Just take a piece of tape and stick something to it. Add to it, you can. If I make it too small. Just that you have a hole there and you have that puckered like that and you have a hole there. Do you cut a square and put a square piece there and then put a square piece there? Just take it down. Take it down. Got that hole covered. We can cut that straight. Got that not bad. I'm going to come on this back side. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that shape. And to me, this is a very easy shape to make because it's flat. It's just we have to get it to fit. Cut this off. I'm sorry, but I think I feel a snot rocket coming. I apologize. It's not bad. We got all the holes covered. I can take a little more off this right here. I think I can. I don't know if I need to or not, but. And, well, we can take a little, try to tighten her up a little bit. And if it comes to something you're not getting it fitting right, just take your time, grab a new piece of paper. Like it's not expensive, this Bristol board. I don't think it is. I shouldn't say that. I never bought it. Someone else did. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So that's our first piece. I think what I would like to do that's not bad there, but I should have a little piece right there in that corner. I don't mind this piece right here, but I'd like to have a little piece right there. Piece of tape. Yep. Just to make it. Just tape that on there, Aiden. Just put a little piece of tape on that. See, I just add a little piece on there. Cut it so it's straight. There's the first one. We're going to give that to Aiden. Aiden's going to trace that on a piece of metal, and he's going to cut it. Now, this is what's going to happen on this piece. I've got this piece here. I've got a piece coming in here that's all decayed. Got a little bit of rot in it. And I see it's rotting up to here. We're up here somewhere. So I'm just going to make, that's a nice straight piece there, so I'll do the exact same thing to that. Let's do this. What I like to start with generally is a straight edge. and hit a straight edge. I'll go in here. Don't go too fast, Eden. No. Okay. Just trying to make that straight. So to get that to go in where I want it to go in, I have to cut it off the top side. If you know what I'm trying to say. I want this piece of Bristol board to go into that. That's the inside sill, and close it off. So I have to take some out of this. And I see that distance there, and I'm going to try to mimic that distance there to what's going up here. Just see what happens. And it's just Bristol board, so if it's not cut right, it's no biggie. It's when you start cutting the metal and start putting it in is when, you know, you have the issue, I think. Aiden is using it's called the Beverly shear. That's what he's using to cut this. I find it probably the simplest thing to use. Come take a look here for a sec, sweetheart, on this side. Damn it. Throw that at. It's fitting quite nice here, but we've got seems to be like a reasonable, you know, half decent same distance gap. So I have to look at that gap and take that gap and bring it over on this here, so that shoves in that far. I hope that makes sense. So I'm thinking I'll just bring it over some more. Got that much gap there, so I'm going to cut that much off of this. So I'm pretending that I had, say, that much, or it looked like that much, and I'm going to cut that much more off. See if I can get it over there. It's actually quite nice to have Aiden around. Everything's going so quickly. It really is. Like all the front all tied in on that side. This front piece tied on the inside. It's just going quickly. 2 people. All right, come take a look, sweetheart. I'm getting closer. You can see on the bottom side it's hitting. On the top side it's not. So I would probably take a little more off the whole distance. A little more off the top. And just take it in there a little ways. I don't need much. Just need a little. Just a little bit. Yeah. And you went just a little bit further. Make that fit better. I think I'm going to take it off the whole way. Just a little bit. I'm just looking at the gap that I had and guessing. That's the fun part.
Educated guess.
Educated guess. You got it right. I'm afraid you got more education than I got, Aiden.
Experienced guess.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, definitely have more experience.
With playing with paper and scissors, yes. So I'm just going to take it off a little bit more. Doesn't look like much, but it'll pan out here in the end. It'll pan out in the end. So now I've got that fitting pretty good. You can see that's nice and tight up there. I can weld that down along there. Then I can weld this up along through here and come up to the end. Now, where I have that in there fitting good, tight, and right, now I'm allowed to come on the outside. Allowed to come on the outside. And this is not all like the end. Like, I mean, this stuff can be trimmed and cut and figured and played with, you know. Aiden's cutting a little bigger than it's supposed to be, no doubt in my mind. Just gonna hold that there. So, what I'm saying is, that's the other shape. One shape there, nice and flat, easy to make. Nice and flat and easy to make. To try to bend that over, to try to make this and bend that over and to go in there and try to make that piece, just complicates it, makes it too hard to bend the metal, just complicates it. I'm trying to simplify it so you can fix anything. That's what I want to do. I want to simplify it so you can fix anything. And basically what you try to do is you try to find your shapes. So there's my second shape. It's not, I'm going to cut a little bit off the bottom just because it's a little bit long. And there, we can put that in there. Runs all the way to the top. When we put this piece on, then we can put this piece on and we can butt weld it down the edge. So there's piece number 2.
All right, I got piece number 1.
Right on.
Needs a little bit of grinding.
Yeah, I'll play with that. All right, there's the boomerang. Now it's not right on the money on the cuts, and that's fine because we can. What I like to do is just take the pair of vice grips, take the flapper wheel, make that really nice and all that sort of stuff. So we got like that, and that gives us that shape. Bing, bang, boom. All right, good, looks good. I'm just going to take and knock that off a little bit. Actually, I'm going to make this shape. Let's make that one. Looking for a straight edge, and if I haven't got one, I'll make one. And I'm just going to eye it up, just make it as straight as possible. All right, we know on this piece it come up to about here somewhere, so I need a longer piece. So I need somewhere like that, and I need some on the end. So I'm going to have to glue some to it. That's no problem. Ouch, piece of metal in me. Do that. Some tape. Tape.
Right underneath the welder as well.
Oh,
smaller
cool.
stuff.
Yep. So the whole car, when we made the floor, that's just the floor. Once we get the floor underneath of it, we've tied the A pillar and the B pillar, and the rest of the work is tying the rest of it to the car. That's the rest of the work, is tying it to the car. Trying to make everything tight. This tight, the front tight, make this post tight. You got to make the quarter panel tight. Tight and right. So if I have that in there, like so, I got that in there like that. That piece will come down to meet that piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace that off. This is the piece that goes into the floor or into this inside sill. Very important when you're making this to make sure that you have that piece before you drop your car on, because if you had to make the inside sill after, it's very difficult. I know because I failed before. I did that. Alrighty. We'll make that straight. Just making this a little bit long. The reason being is why not? So, as I have that, that's my piece that I've made. That's what I've traced off. That goes into the inside sill. That piece is not done yet. And the reason I'm saying it's not done yet is because we want a 90 that goes over to the inside sill and comes down and welds on. So this is what I do. I just recall that. And add it to this. So I've got the shape that I need here. I've got that shape, got it cut off. There it is. It fits in there. If we go over to the other side, what has happened here, we bent a 90 on it. There's a 90 goes down there, and we spot welded that to the square stock on the floor. That's the way it was before, but we cut the bottom of it all off to make our new floor apply. So now we're taking this piece and adding it to the floor. What I've done there now, when I make the patch, I've got the shape that I wanted, and like in there, that fits, but I've got to add the 1/2 inch, so I just don't forget to add the 1/2 inch to this and mark it. So if I go to put it onto a piece of metal, which I'm going to, I have to remember that's my piece. I want my 90 on not the mark side, on this side. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that on there. There's my 90. It's my piece I want. This is my piece that's coming down. So I want that. Could even go a little bit more. Will you leave the black line there, Aiden? Just leave the line on this on this side.
Yep.
And okay, so I'm going to bend this up a little bit further, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. And
Okay.
leave this bit too.
Leave that. So you're just going to cut up here and leave that line.
Gotcha.
Right on. And we're going to bend that. Okay, there's that one. Cool. So this is this piece. Goes in there like that. What's that, sweetheart? That's that piece. Right? And then that can be welded up in there. It's that piece. That's number 2. He's got number 3. Now we're going to make the piece down in here. I have this piece. Is that piece ahead there? That piece there. That covers our holes. Covers that hole up in there and knock that over. When I tack that on, then I can hit that with a hammer and bend it down over. So I'm going to make a mark here just to show me sort of where that goes on. We get a hole there, hole there. Let's do it. Let's go above the hole. That's just a bend in there. I need a hammer. Yeah. Oh. I need to have to get out. Gotta straighten that out a little bit. Woo. That's pretty tough. That's just a bend in there. I can do that on the brake. I just need this shape, this triangle shape, and that shape. This side, that's not that bad to be honest. That part's not bad. It's where the bolt or the welded in nut where it's bad. It's got a rip there. So we're gonna just go. Go up here. I'm going to use that straight edge there and make that piece. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to bend it. Nice and straight going down there. Be weld nice. I'm going to cut that. Let's do it. Just traced it, put it on. Sorry, put it on like that. No, I didn't put it on like that. Put it on like that. How did I do that? I was watching it, looking at it, wasn't I? Got myself confused now. Let's do it again. No, I'm just going to do it like this. Use this edge. Got myself confused. That's not hard. We'll go over there. Cut that off. See if it works. And if it doesn't, I'm going to cut it a little bit big. If it doesn't, I'll grab another piece and do it again. It only took a second. So we got that. We'll bend that on the brake. We got lots there. I'm going to cut a little more off. You can see where it starts right there. Let's cut a little more off. We'll do that one first. Just cut a little more off. So we're right there. See what happens there. I gotta. Probably trying to confuse it there a little bit, but there's no need. So we've got a piece here that covers that one. So we can weld right down there on that nice post there, across there, and we have another piece that goes up in here, and we'll match that together and butt weld that one together for that one. And we know where the bend is because it's in the cardboard itself. There's your next piece. Alrighty. Thank you. Alrighty.
The flapper wheel?
Yeah, I'm going to take and flapper wheel one, make it look nice. I'm just going to, it's inside the, so we're making 4 pieces to make that one firewall fit the inside sill of the floor. We've got it tied in on the other side. We've got the inside done. We haven't got the inside on the other one done, but we're just going to tie this one in now. Must have scraped myself. I did? Poor me. I'm going to put my gloves on, and I'm just going to smooth out some pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it on there. I got some marks on there. I'd like to take them off. And I'll just do it like this. So, got this piece here. I'm just going to straighten this out a little bit. It's got some jagged edges on it. It was cut with the Beverly shear there. Just going to smooth it up a little bit, make it feel better. Just trying to simplify it so anybody can do it. That's all. And all I'm doing is everything that we've made there is flat shape. And that by no means is flat if you were trying to make it out of one piece. Flatten that out, make that feel good. Take all the burrs off it. All right. We have a zip cut. We're just going to zip cut some pieces off. We're going to try to lay it in as flush as possible. We could take and overlap it and weld it on top, but we don't want to build it up too much. And basically that's what happens sometimes when you get doing this stuff. You can build it up way too much, and then it becomes not so good. You know, we don't want to build it up too much. We'll cut the piece off. We'll take it off as much as we can. Nothing hard about this piece at all. This is all just a flat piece. That's a flat piece. Keep saying that. And the reason being is because it's the truth. I held the piece up. Where did I put that? Sorry. I held the piece up like that. Got it where I think it needs to be. And then I traced it. Now I'm able to cut it. And I'm going to stay inside the black line. I'm not going to go on the outside of the black line. It makes it too big. That zip cut's about a little too thick. That would make my job very hard. We'll change that. screwdriver there right close by, Aiden? I got a pair of scissors here that'll probably tear that off. Actually. Look out! He's a maniac. Just change the disc here for a second, knock them off. We're down to our inside piece, just knocking off the spot weld. If you're worried about the rust on the inside, basically what should happen is you should undercoat your car when you're done. You undercoat this piece after you're done. What I mean by undercoat is spray some Crown on it. That's what we use. If you sandblast that and then you weld that, you still would undercoat it. And when you weld it, that's the first place that rusts. I'm okay with that. It's not going anywhere. What I would do is undercoat that. We'll just sandblast the outside body. Now, where's my between my legs? Now, here's what I got going on. What I'm going to say is it's not fitting bad, actually. It's not fitting bad. So I'm going to spot it on. I've got some overhang on here because I never cut off what I should have, but I can grind it off with the flapper wheel. So Aiden's going to turn on the welder. I'm going to zap this blunt. You give me a ground there, Aiden. I'll get a helmet. Inside?
Yep.
No worries, no Russian. We're Canadian. I can clean that up a little bit more. I don't like drilling the holes, the spot welds out. I don't like doing that. And the reason being is when I go to weld it back on, I've drilled a bunch of holes in that, and then I got to spend the time welding them up. I like grinding it all off and then having a flat piece of metal and then welding my new piece. That's what I enjoy. You do it any way you want to, but I enjoy not drilling out the spot welds. I cut them all the way around it, and I grind them off, and I've got no holes in my sheet metal. The time that I would take to repair all the holes that I've just drilled in the car, you can imagine the time it takes. And if you can't, do it. That's all I can tell you. I can set that up in there. I've got a helmet, haven't I?
You do.
No sense me going crazy and burning my eyes out of my head is reading.
Oh.
So I'm going to set this up. We're going to butt weld that in there. It's fitting not bad. And also, like I explained to Aiden, if there's any place that's not fitting great, grab a coat hanger.
See if that ground works. Yep.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
1 will hold it. 2, it's in place. Let's put it up tight up here. And then we can zip cut it around if it's not fitting the best. I don't mind that. Have to be careful on this old metal. Another thing for sure, is when you're doing something like this, you really want to make sure you're getting back far enough. We found it on the last one, didn't we, Aiden?
Yeah.
We found it on the last one. You really want to make sure you're getting... I'm just going to tack that on. Going good. Awesome. That was an easy piece. Now I got this end piece. I'm going to flop it over. Not really worried about zip cutting it and butting it right in there. No, I'm not. But I can. Then I get the third arm. Where's that bad boy? Ching! All right. Push that in there. Put that in there tight. Fitting in nice and tight. Awesome. Beautiful. Just a little spot right there. Alrighty. Take our zip cut. Nope, got a grinder on is what we got. Get our zip cut back on there. Right down. Okay, we're fine for now. And we got this piece down in here. So that only got a lip that goes over there. It's got a lip that goes over and it ends. You can see there's like a little lip that ends right there. Well, we're going to take our piece all the way over and weld it down that seam. Make it tight and right. We're going to change it up there. Pair of very scrapes. Sometimes you pull on that stuff, wind her up like an accordion, she'll come right off. Just want to clean that stuff up there. thicker grinder disc, knock a little bit more of it off so I can get up in there. Just don't want a lot of buildup, that's all. Good metal up in there. I'm going to keep. Let's go with our second piece. That's this one. Flatten her out a little bit. I'll smooth her up a little bit with the other grinder. Having fun, Aiden?
Oh, yeah.
So Aiden did weld the other side up, and I'll get him to weld this side up. We're kind of team working this thing. Flatten it out. Yeah, basically what we want. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. What does not matter? What does not matter is that that don't fit bad actually. You can come on this side. If you see this side, you can see this side. Now the piece is going to work good. It's going to work good. Then we'll pound that side up in and weld in there. I'm going to clean that up in there, tack it in there, tack it down there, clean that up, butt weld that together. Clean this up in here a little bit. Ooh. Watch your eyes. Get that fitting tight along that inside sill. That sill's out a little ways, that's nice. So my main object is to get that piece fitting tight on that inside sill. That's my main object. And getting it up where it needs to be. Okay, we're gonna bring it down some, right there. It's tight up in there, nice. Now, we'll just weld that all the way down along there. That seam's not going to be there no more for any rot or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it here. And the reason I'm going to tack it because I want to grind it to make it fit. And I want that edge to come together so we can butt weld it together. And that's what Aiden's going to do. I'm going to put this up in here. Get that up in there tight and right. No more seam there. Seams are for rust. Aiden asked me, would you weld up that seam? Well, that's where rust comes out through. You know what I mean? That's something like that. You know, it's there, but it would be nice to have it welded up. So that fits nice and tight down there along the inside sill. The inside sill is away from the frame. We've got that tight in there, so Aiden can weld that down there. I'm going to hit it with a hammer. Not to bruise it, just to make it tight. I'm going to get it ready for him by tacking it in there. So nothing will be climbing back out of there because we got it welded. I'm going to knock this up in here. Seems to fit right there. Seems to be tight and right. That's perfect right there. Talk this up. That's how we want it to come together right there. So when we grind it off, we can make it look like the other side. If I leave it like that, well then there's going to be puddles of weld, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I leave it like that, put a spot of weld, then we can grind it off, make it look nice. Watch your eyes, sweetheart. Not going to grind off the spot weld because it's going to take off on me. I'll leave that there, grind it off after. Just want them to come together, obviously, so I can butt weld it. Sometimes you can grind it too far, but try not to. Hit it with a hammer. Just easy. I don't want to dent it, I just want to fix it. Get this in a little tighter right here. That's why I weld it. Well, there's number 2. So we're going for number 3 now. We're going to do this one. We got this piece right here. We're going to take it over and put a bend on it. I got to figure out which way it goes. Goes on that way. No. Yeah, it goes on that way. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah. I'm just going to smooth it off a little bit. I'm going to put the line on the other side. Take it to the brake. Aiden say I already done this.
Yeah, it's good revision.
Right? Huh?
It's good revision. I get to see it again.
It's called what's it called? Repeat.
Repeat.
Repeat. I'm a repeat kind of guy. That's the mark. So I got to have that down. Okay. Just talking to myself. Want to bend it right, that's all. So I got one mark on this end. When you got a brake like this, you can leave one end tight and just control it at one end. I'm just trying to put on the marks. Also, like I was telling Aiden, I could bend a 90 on this, and when I stick it on, it might not be exactly a 90 over there. So if I do a less of a 90, then the piece that I've bent down will point back towards the panel, if you know what I'm trying to say. If it's a complete 90 and I push it in, it might be out too far, then I can hammer it all in. If I leave it less than a 90, it will point back at the panel. We'll go back and explain that as we go. So we have, so if I put a 90 in there, and this piece here was back further, or say back further, the 90 might not fit. Where I have it not a 90, see where it's not a 90, it's not completely square, like a 90. Then this piece aims back towards that and will hit it. There we go. There's our piece. So I'm going to cut that off, my marker. And it's too big, and that's fantastic. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because it's too small, I have to make a new one. So we're going to cut that off. It's too big out here too, that's fine. I've got a zip cut. Well done, Jolene. I'm not fast enough. Huh? She said you're not fast enough. Damn it. Fits up to the piece we got at the bottom. We can butt weld that together down there. Fits up tight and right on that piece. Now we need to just cut that line. I'm going to leave the line. Hope my fingers aren't there. Now we've got a brand new piece. And we're up in there. So that's our piece for that. Basically what I'm going to do there is I'm going to put that piece in and do this. This is what I did use the hole punch last time. I don't like, I think I explained it before, I don't like punching holes in things and trying to fill the hole in and spot weld it to the car. I've had them pop off and I don't like it. So I do my own thing. And my own thing is to notch it and then fill it. So what I mean by that is I'm just going to make a couple marks on it. And I'll show you. Yesterday, the other day when I put the floor in, I came to realize that the grinder's way faster. And that's with doing it, right? That's how I knew. So basically what I've done is I've V'd that out. Now when I weld that, I make sure that I get up in there. Make sure I get up in there. I'm going to tack that on. Aiden's going to turn the welder back on for me. Like the good guy he is. Yeah, things are going to go quick on this, and the reason being is I've got Aiden helping me, and we're doing good. Also, yeah, it's just working. You know, we're doing good. It's not just one person. Aiden's here for, you know, a few hours, and we're able to get quite a bit done, and it's fun. It's fun. We've got a gap going on right down there. Like last time, I said to Aiden, you know, we were talking about this. We had a gap on the other one. I could slice that right there, bend this part down, weld it back together, and that would go down around and let this come up higher, make this. But to be honest with you, we might as well just keep that straight and bang that up with a hammer. Too easy. Too easy. So that's what we're doing. We're going there. Going there. I'm going to spot weld that on. Now, when I cut this off, I know that that thing's tacked. I know it. I know it. And the reason being is because I've welded it to the other piece. There's nothing I'm scared of. Nothing I'm scared of. I'm going to weld this piece on. Now we've got a gap going on. We're butt welded there nice. Now it's time to just knock it up with the hammer. Aiden knew exactly what was going on because he passed me the hammer. I'm going to do another one. When I cut this access off, this is the inside sill, now I can cut that off. Tack it up. And what's the best way to, when you hit this stuff, when you're tacking this sort of stuff, is to nail it down somewhere. So I'm going to nail it down here. Then I can hit it. Then it'll hold it, right? Just going to tack it again. I've got too much metal there, but I want to get it up in place, and then I can grind it off, and then I can grind that off before I weld it up. Let's get this thing going. Ah, it looks nice in there. Good. Now we're just going to make it fit. Now we'll just put the flapper wheel on it, cut it back a little bit, and then we'll butt weld it on there. We do not want that excess metal because it makes something that you can't grind. You can, but it don't work. I've got something that when I weld it up, I'll be able to grind it all off and make it look like the other side. Now it's time to grind that off because, you know, I don't want it stuck out there. You can see the excess metal. You want to weld it back up where it was. Got a piece underneath here. Butt weld it right down there. It's fitting absolutely gorgeous. Not as gorgeous as Jolene, but gorgeous. Beautiful. And if something doesn't, like, I've been telling Aiden quite a bit, like, we've been welding up things, and sometimes I haven't got it fitting just perfectly. Make sure you add more weld to it, so when you grind it off, it looks good. So if you leave, like, we welded these end pieces on, and there was quite a length. It was probably 1/4 of an inch. Yep. Instead of just welding it on and then grinding it off, then it would have showed the weld. Then it would have showed where it wasn't welded in the end. So what I got Aiden to do is weld the whole 1/4 inch shut. So when I ground it off, it looked flush. So if you, yeah, it looks better when you add more to be able to grind it off. So we've got one piece underneath, we got one piece going down here, we got this hole filled, that hole filled, now we need that one filled. Where's the piece that we have? There it is, Aiden's right on the money. Right on the money. Straighten that out. We'll just smooth this up. Nice cut. Not too bad. All done. Now, we got the piece. Aiden come up with an idea that when we put this piece in here, when we put that piece in there, we bent it, and it fit, like it bent, we bent it. So Aiden's going to cut that piece and take that piece and put it on there and draw that line. Or you already got it on there?
I got little marks on it, but not all the way through.
Okay, that works. Good enough. So what he did is, last time, he just cut the piece of paper and laid that piece of paper on there. We knew exactly where to bend it. But this time he's got the mark up there, got a mark down there, and I'm going to bend it. Trying to get the marks lined up. Just going to try it, see what happens. And then it's going to be Aiden's turn. So we got that there. All right, that there. Don't work bad. Don't fit bad. So, I got this on there, do I? Nope. I just took that off, didn't I? There it is. I'm just trying to put that on there. Cut it on the inside. Come out, whoever you are. To-do. Hot, hold the finger. Hold the glove, man. Got vice grips. Just trying to get it out of there. Then the bottom will be capped off last. So we'll get it done, and then we'll cap the bottom. You see the bottom there now. Somebody's house? Nobody home? Nobody home. Nobody home. How do I get this? There's our piece. All right, Eden. I want to get that back in there and bend that part down. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tack this corner. I'm going to tack this line here, and then we'll deal with that here in a second. I'm going to flick me back on. Aiden's on cue, man. Just watch yourself. So I'm just going to clean off the edge. Get it up in there so I can get that one straight edge going. If anything else, I want to in further than out. That makes sense? There we go. The reason I spotted it on right quick is because that line straightens right. On the bottom, I can cut it off and cap it after. That's what we're doing after. I know my piece is there. Now, when you're doing this, and I've got this piece overlapped on that piece, I wouldn't try to look in that piece and try to cut there. What I do is I take my grinder and I use this piece to cut. Whatever I can see is the line that I want to cut, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? If I see this is overlapping this, well, I've used the grinder to follow this one. I'm just going to tack it in there a little bit because it's tight right in there. Just want to get another tack on it. Good. Now I'm going to take the zip cut. Shut in there. It's nice. Right down there, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just going to run the zip cut through it a little bit more, push that down, that went in nice. Want to get it in there flat, that's all. And there she be. So watch your eyes. Tack that together. Now, I want to butt weld this a little bit better because I'm going to hit that with a hammer. I'm going to beat that in. The reason I'm going to beat that in because that's fine. I'm going to tap it here first because it went in a little bit. Tap it again, put a little heat to it. She's right there where I cut it, so she's not far off. Now hit it. Beautiful. Okay. So we just cut more tacks down here. So I'll be able to grind that off flush because there's lots of gap in there. I put at least a grinder disc in there. Now when you come look on this side, this is too far out for that, what's going down there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grind this piece off so I can butt weld this piece. I'm overlapped here a little bit, so I'm going to grind it off. Guessing a little bit, I was guessing. That's okay. That's what happens. Keep that tight and right. I change the grinder, flap it so I can put the other grinder, so I can get it tight and get it 45 so I can. That way there we can butt weld it. Then the cap goes on the bottom. Alrighty, now it's Aiden's turn to take over. No, I'm going to take a coat hanger, something like I showed you on the top there, a little hole there. Coat hanger anywhere is hanging on the back of that? No. There's one inside the car, I think, maybe. One inside the car? Is there? Doesn't matter. Grab one right here. Come on out, wherever you are. So what I'm going to do now is just going to put a coat hanger in that hole there, and then I'm going to hand it off to Aiden, and Aiden's going to weld it all up. When I'll probably grind it off, and when I grind it off, I know I'll be able to grind off the weld. We're butt welded on this edge, we're butt welded on this edge, we're butt welded on this edge, we're butt welded on this edge. We're pretty well butt welded on that edge. It's hard to cut in there. This is going to be butt welded on this edge, and we're down there. On this piece right here, we've got a 90 coming down, and that's what it wants to look like. Here, we did not make the 90, we did not bend it, but when I cut this off, I'll make sure to show one, just like the other side. So on this side, what I did is I faked it. Cut it off, and then I left some where we welded it down there, and then I left that little ½ inch to make it look like it went with that one. Just to simplify it. I'm a simple man. Get back in here. I get a little weld in there. We can grind that off. It carried back a little ways on me, but that's okay. We got lots of weld in there. We know we got penetration because I put a big goober in there. And now it's off for Aiden. It seems like a lot of juggling going on there. It sort of is a lot of juggling going on there. But every piece that we made was pretty basic and simple. Flat, flat, flat with a bend, and one bend. All right, everybody, have a good one. Aiden's helped me fly right along on this, so now he's going to weld up the second side, and I'm going to make the other piece for that side on the inside of this, on the front cowl. So he'll weld this up. I'll go in there. Me and Jolene Jolene will help me for a minute. Bead roll that one. I'll get that one to fit. While he's welding that, I'll be doing that. By the time he's done that, I can get him to go in there and weld that one in, and I'll come out and grind his weld off. And that's basically what's going on. Have a good one, everybody. We are